You guys, I will admit that I fell for it this week. I certainly fell for it this week. I fell into the thought process of feeling like I needed to do more than what was in front of me, have more than what was in front of me, do all the things to feel as though that I was setting myself up for success. And none of that is wrong. And it was all with good intentions, I should say. But sometimes it's just about using what you have, starting where you're from, and just doing. Because sometimes we get caught up in thinking that we need the sparkly, the shiny, the fancy to get the message across that we want to bring to the world. And that's absolutely not the case. And so I'm going to share today's reflection will be on the Shamgar's principle. And if you don't know what the Shamgar's principle is, I did look it up via the Googles. And it says the Shamgar principle derived from the biblical story of Shamgar in Judges 3 and 31. It focuses on overcoming obstacles and delivering results by utilizing the 3-part strategy. So start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So all of that to say, I don't know how much time, energy, mental brain space that I used up this week thinking, just trying to, upgrade some things because, I was using a certain platform to record videos and, I've had this mic for a long time when I was recording previously. But I felt like I needed some other things. So I have found myself ordering mics, ordering cameras, ordering things, and none of it was led by God. None of it. It was strictly led by me feeling like I wanted to do these upgrades in order to feel as though, I was able to just bring the best message. And all of those things are good to be able to upgrade. But when I got the things home, when they finally arrived, none of it worked. None of it was better quality than what I had already at my disposal. And I was so frustrated. Because I'm like, all I want to do is just make sure that I'm, producing quality videos. And the Lord was like, I didn't tell you to do any of that. And every time I plugged in a new camera, every time I plugged in a new mic, either something weird was going on, the cameras were had this weird tint, and I'm sure you've probably seen it in one of my other videos. It was a very orangish kind of tint, which, was kind of fun from one video, but not really the vibe moving forward. And so I just allowed that idea that I needed more to take over, that I needed to upgrade in some type of way. And I'll tell you, what I'm using right now is my phone and this mic that I've had for, I don't even know how long I've had. And it's producing better quality than I would have been able to buying any of the things that I've bought over the last week or two. And that's what in God, and as I was finding myself once again frustrated, going through the motions of trying to plug up another camera, trying to get another mic to work, God, and I was just like, you know what? I give up. Because if I was truly, truly honest with myself, I know that God did not tell me to purchase any of this stuff. None of it. And, you know, I have my phone, I have my mic. I was using my laptop for a while, but it's a little bit of an older laptop, so some of the things aren't as compatible. But you know what? There's a way to be able to record on my phone and save storage and all the things and move it to different platforms, so I'm able to, you know, my phone's not getting bogged down with different videos. But as soon as I was just like, you know what, Lord, I'm done. I'm done with trying to make this work. I'm done with trying to finagle this to seem more put together, seem as though, you know, I just don't need these things right now. And as soon as I was decided that I was like, you know what, it's all going back. It's all going back, and I'm going to use what I have because it's producing good quality. It's good quality for where I am right now, and that's going to be good enough. It has to be good enough. The Lord brought to me the Shamgar's principle, and I just thank him for that because, one, it could have saved me a lot of mental space, money, time, effort, trying to work things out in my own strength when that's not even what is required of me right now. And so I admit it. I definitely fell into that mental trick that I needed to be more. And I've been experiencing that quite a bit over the last week, that I'm not enough. It's not enough. What I'm doing is not enough. Because when you're building, my gosh, you know, you really have to, you can't get stuck in thinking that it's always going to be this way, especially when you are building for a very specific audience and you have it's not something very run-of-the-mill. And so I was just finding myself getting bogged down and probably trying to get a new mic and camera to overcompensate in some type of way that's not required, because I was like, all right, God, I think I said it a couple days ago, starting to take the wheel back. Because it does get challenging. And challenging is an understatement. Waiting on God to move and keeping faith in the midst of it. And truly believing with your heart of hearts that God's timing is perfect, when all you just want sometimes is just a little bit of an iota of an idea that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing. Because I'm like, Lord, I can go back to my hidey hole off of the internet, reading a book quietly, by myself, with not having to be in front of a camera, even though I'm passionate about these subjects, even though I know that you've put these visions inside of me. I'm perfectly fine being off the interwebs and continuing to pour into the people that I do this on in my day job, but knowing how important it is for leaders to have that Christ-centered, faith-based, servant leadership aspect. I understand the importance of it. I know what it's done for me. I know how it's impacted my life. And, the other things too, as far as being cognizant about the different, how trauma, how things have impacted us, and how that really shows up not in just our personal lives, but in our leadership journeys. And I understand that. I understand that because I've been through that. But also, I'm sure, Lord, you've got somebody else that could do it. I'm sure you have somebody else that can do it. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do it, Lord. I'm happy. Yes, Lord, send me. But it's hard. It's hard today, Lord. It's hard. And if I'm honest, sometimes I find it hard to engage with the word because there's so much, it feels like there's so much required of me that I am struggling to see where you're really taking this. Because I don't want to be out here just to be out here. I want to ensure that the people who need this message, who need these leadership concepts, who need these skills, get it. Because we pay attention, we spend so much time and attention on the people who are above, who've already moved past new and emerging, but so many people fall through the gaps of that, between that new and emerging. That leadership, starting that beginning of your leadership journey it is such a steep learning curve. It is such a steep learning curve that you can really drown if you're not getting poured into properly. And my heart goes out to people who are in that boat. Because I remember what it was like. I remember what it was like. And it was years of just feeling like you're just trying to figure it out. You're just trying to get a handle on things. And if I in some way can cut that time in half, people get ramped up on these leadership skills in a much faster way, in a more meaningful way. That, I mean, by the time they get 4 or 5 years in, they are leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else who is just starting to get training, especially when it comes down to being faith-based. And so, yeah, I found myself feeling like I needed to overcompensate, feeling a lack of confidence, feeling shaken in certainty. And God just quietly letting me run circles around myself, stress myself out. And he's been doing that lately. He really has been doing that lately. He has been letting me, anytime I start to get out of his will, he lets me run that little rat race around myself. And he just quietly watches. And it's like I can feel him quietly watching me just run circles. And then when I get tired, he's like, enough. You've had enough. Okay. So we're back on. We're back on so you're following me again? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to check in before we started pressing on. Because I know better. But also, God knows I know better. And It's about recognizing the pattern. Like, okay, I know that I should have recognized that I'm doing this because I feel a lack in some type of way internally, rather than it being like, yes, I need a new camera and a new microphone to just have success. No. You just need to sit with God and speak openly and honestly and tell him where you're at, because he already knows. He already knows. He knows you're a little upset. He knows you're a little tired. He knows you're a lot of tired. He knows you're a lot of tired, but also, I mean, what is building? What is really building? And what expectations do I have around building? I mean, stretching myself in ways that I haven't had to do before. And so having the idea that this is going to be easy or quick, or he didn't say that. He just said to build, and I'll be with you, and I will give you the instruction, and I will show up for you. So it doesn't matter where we are in our journey. It doesn't matter. We can all have those moments where it's like you rip the wheel back from God and you want to start doing it all in your own strength. Because, and it's I'm hearing it right now. It's an opportunity. It's an intention check. It should have been an intention check. Like, why? What is the intention? Have you taken your eyes off of why you're doing this? That this is a mission. It's not about you. It's about bringing forth and doing kingdom business. And so I got my butt kicked a little bit. I did. But you know what? I've gone back to the basics. This is how I started my channel almost 3 years ago. Phone, little mic. That's it. That's it. And one little editing app that I did on my phone. And so that's enough. That's enough. And when it's time to graduate to other things, when it's time to pick up and advance and optimize and all these other things, he will tell me when to do that. But right now, he needs me in this chair, bringing the message. And keeping my eyes on him. So I repent, Lord. I repent for taking my eyes off of you. I repent for letting my own intentions and my own desires of wanting to see my ideas of success get in the way of truly the mission of this channel, which is to bring up faith-based, Christ-centered servant leaders. And so I'm going to leave it there. That was just my reflection for today. And my name is Tiffany, and if you enjoy content like this, I mean, here on this channel, we are learning to lead ourselves well and to serve others better, so we can serve others better. And if you are enjoying content like this, please check out some of my other videos. You can also, if you have an interest in getting more tools and resources and getting a springboard into your leadership journey, really starting to get down to the nitty gritty, you can get my Getting Off the Wall, a courage worksheet for emerging leaders. And I will drop that in the description below, as well as there are a couple different ways you can support this channel. You can, one, like it. You can definitely like it. Send it to someone who's just like yourself and maybe an emerging leader, maybe someone who has influence, maybe somebody who's new or has an interest in leadership. Send it to them. Send it to them because we want to get this in front of the right people. You can like the video. You can always subscribe. And then also, if you would like to just buy me a coffee and support that way, if you're enjoying the content and you just want to buy me a coffee, that link will also be in the description for you as well. And I am just happy to be back on track in the right mindset coming into this new week. And I pray that the Lord continues to bless you, lead you, and guide you, and that we will talk soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.